Hi everyone, I'm adding this disclaimer here to hopefully address some potential questions. See, I usually film my videos in bulk on my trips to theme parks. Therefore, I have quite a few backlogged that just haven't been released. Problem is that when the parks start to reopen in mid-July, they're going to look a lot different than what is pictured in my videos, and I just don't want to confuse viewers. So what I'm going to do is post as many as I can up until Walt Disney World begins to open on July 11th. So that's a video every day for the next 3 weeks or so. Once the park reopens, we'll work on showing you what they look like in real time. But for now, enjoy this walk through the parks of 2019. Hello everyone, and well, good morning. I'm obviously here at the Magic Kingdom. It is very early in the morning, as you can see by this beautiful sunrise shade behind the castle. And today I am just going to walk around Fantasyland Storybook Circus here at the Magic Kingdom and just kind of show you around, show you what it looks like. It's a pretty good time to do it. It is, well, it's obviously early. The extra magic hour is just about to end here. And it was an early one, so 7 a.m. extra magic hour. So there are still not as many people in the park as normal. I'm coming around this way. You can't walk through the castle right now because they're about to do the welcome show to open the park for regular day guests. So instead I'm coming up around here by what is now the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Is the popular Cinderella fountain. I'm actually going to walk into the back of the castle here just to show you that because it's cool. I like walking through the castle. Unfortunately, you can't do it very often. This side is where Cinderella Royal Table is right there. You go in to eat up in the castle. This side is what I more wanted to show you. These mosaics in here are so cool, so intricately done. I mean, all just individual stone tiles to make up the whole. It is the entire story of Cinderella all the way down, and looks like they're just about to do the welcome show, so you might hear some fireworks in a minute. Here is the Carousel, the Sword in the Stone that I haven't seen them do the show there in a long time, where they choose a child to come up and pull the sword out of the stone. It only comes out a couple inches. It doesn't come all the way out. They don't let children just handle broadswords, but I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't know if they still do it. You can still try, see if you can pull it out. Down this corridor here is kind of the end of Fantasyland on this side, and the corridor down here is where Peter Pan's flight is, where It's a Small World is, and down there you can see the tower from Tangled right there. Those are bathrooms. Very nice bathrooms, but that's what they did with that. So let's head back this way into the sun, which is very blinding. Ow. Those bells right there are coming from Pinocchio Village House, which is a quick service restaurant here in Fantasyland. And one of a few restaurants in Fantasyland. There's actually quite a few of them. It's not great, to be honest. I would eat elsewhere if I were you. So now crossing back around the carousel here. On this side is Princess Fairy Tale Hall. Is right there. That is where Snow White's scary adventure used to be. Now you can meet on one side Rapunzel and Tiana, and on the other side Cinderella and Elena of Avalor. I had to come look because I couldn't remember. But coming around, you can tell like this is kind of the old Fantasyland, and then the new Fantasyland is that way. You can tell by the kind of outer ramparts of the castle here were all new in I think 2015, 2014, somewhere that range, when they expanded Fantasyland into what it is now. It's kind of a tough thing to give a tour of because there's not like one straight main path, or there is, but there's a lot of branches off of it, I guess. It's hard to loop around. And this side here is Friar's Nook, and then Storybook Treats. Friar's Nook is a quick service. They actually have like loaded tater tots and stuff there that sound good. I haven't had them. It gets pretty good ratings from our users, so maybe it's pretty good. Storybook Treats is basically ice cream, and it's not the greatest ice cream in the world, but if you really want ice cream and you're in the Magic Kingdom, it's one of the only places to really go. On the left there, that is the entrance to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which you will get a better look at as I loop around back into New Fantasyland in a few minutes. It is the busiest ride here at the Magic Kingdom. And it's a good ride. I do like it quite a bit. It's a little shorter than I would like, but what are you gonna do? This side is Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. where Mr. Toad's Wild Ride used to be, which looks like the park just opened to day guests. Not sure how I can tell, but out across that line, they're all going to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. This is the teacups. This kind of represents the end of Fantasyland on this side. There is the Cheshire Cafe down there a little bit that serves Cheshire cattails, which is this really elaborate looking pastry. This side of Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, there's one of the lift hills. Now those cars actually rock a little bit, which is kind of fun if you're in there with the kids. You can get it swaying a little bit. It's more noticeable on the slower parts, but it makes turns like that seem a little faster than they are because the car is actually leaning into it. So now we are getting into Storybook Circus back here. This was part of the Fantasyland expansion. This is where they moved Dumbo. Dumbo used to be back there, kind of where Seven Dwarfs Mine Train's entrance is there. And they moved it and added a second one because it was always so popular and had such a long wait. Well, with the second one and being back here further into the park, it's just not as busy anymore. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train again. You can walk basically all around. In fact, not basically, you can walk all the way around Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So if you have somebody that's going on it, a lot of places that you can maybe snap a picture of them going by like that. So there is Dumbo, and this is the entrance, to Storybook Circus. Technically a part of Fantasyland, although they do mark it almost like another land. But I'm doing it all as part of one big tour here because Storybook Circus is a little too small to do on its own. Big Top Souvenirs, gift shop, but in there they also do make candies and caramel apples, things like that, they at least look great. Here is Double Dumbo. There's one on that side. It looks like the only one open, and then there's another one over here that they will open a little bit later when it gets busy. One thing I always find funny is like they have this big marquee, but that's not the entrance to Dumbo. The entrance is over here. But everybody wants to walk straight into the middle, which does make sense. On my left now here is the Casey Jr. Splash and Soak. As you can see, you can get very wet. Just walking near it, I guess. Explains why the walkway is so wet right here. This side is the Barnstormer. This is kind of a kiddie coaster, if you will. A very, very short ride. Usually does not have too long a wait though, so that at least makes up for the fact that it's a really short ride. It is the roller coaster with the lowest height requirement, 35 inches. So it ends up being a lot of kids' like first roller coaster as they come here. And this right here, this is the Fantasyland station of the Walt Disney World Railroad. It is currently not in operation because of the Tron construction, which is right there. That is the building. They're building the indoor part, the Tron construction. You can kind of see the track. You probably can't because the sun is like right behind it. But the ride track is already there. They just kind of have to build a building around it now. Train station looking building is actually a restroom, and probably one of the nicest looking exteriors of a restroom. This and the Tangled toilets, both in Fantasyland. I'm just kind of looping around the Splash and Soak, not walking through it. Back here is Pete's Silly Sideshow. This is where you can meet, there's two different meet and greets back here. One has Minnie and Daisy, and one has Donald and Goofy. So these are, pretty good places to meet those. They aren't in their traditional costume. Goofy is the Great Goofini, Donald is the Astounding Donaldo, like a magician. Minnie is Minnie Magnifique, and Daisy is Daisy Fortuna. So if you want them, if you want them in the more traditional costumes, don't come here. But if you want to meet them, usually with reasonable wait times and consistently, they meet there pretty much all day. It doesn't open with the park, obviously. It is not open right now. This is a good one to do like later in the day. It's all, most of the queue, even everything is inside, so if it's hot out, you get a little air conditioning break while you wait. It's a dead end back here, so I will meet you on the other side. Okay, so I am back under the sign. That is the way I came from before, back towards Mad Tea Party. This time I am going this way. This is into the heart of the new Fantasyland expansion. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train still to my left. I'm basically circling around it now. There goes on my right. All of these beautiful rocks are for Ariel's Grotto, where you can meet Ariel, the Little Mermaid, in mermaid form. the only place in the parks where you can meet her in her mermaid form. That is open right now, only a 10-minute wait, so good time to meet her, I guess. Just a little snack stand on the right here. And we are now coming up on Under the Sea, the journey of the Little Mermaid. There she is, stuck to the front of a boat. Seems a little mean. Yes, Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid. Not to be confused with Voyage of the Little Mermaid, which is a show in Hollywood Studios. Why they named those so similarly, I do not know. But that is what people are referring to when they say the Little Mermaid ride. Very cool queue, very elaborate queue. I think they thought it was going to be busier than it is. It's an omni-mover, continuously moving. Doesn't usually get much of a line. Now we are into Princess Belle in Provincial France. So there is Gaston's Tavern, which is another quick service. Right now they sell all those giant cinnamon rolls. If the fountain is a good photo op, this is where Gaston will meet. Sometimes out in front of the fountain, sometimes back here by the bathrooms, kind of depending on the crowd levels. They don't really want to block up the walkway too much. Gift shop right here, Village Gifts. Of course, you'll find Beauty and the Beast themed gifts there. And moving on from Belle's Village back there, we come to her castle, I guess, Beast Castle. Anyway, and that bridge leads into the Be Our Guest restaurant, which is the most popular restaurant here in the Magic Kingdom, surpassing Cinderella Royal Table in the hard-to-get reservation department. A little overpriced, probably, but the setting is very cool, being inside the ballroom with the fake snow coming down behind the windows. This Maurice's hut back here is where you will find Enchanted Tales with Belle. That is a very elaborate meet and greet where they tell you the story of how Beast met Belle. There's an animatronic Lumiere, the candlestick, that looks really neat. And there is a mirror effect in the beginning that gets you from the kind of waiting area into Beast Castle that I like quite a bit. People can participate in the show. Mostly they just stand there, they walk up. Someone does have to play the Beast and roar and things like that, but most of them are just kind of standing there. Anyone that does participate does get a picture with Belle at the end. So if that's what you want, make sure somebody in your family participates. And that is it. We are all the way around to the other side of Seven Dwarfs Mine Train now. We are back in front of the carousel, and that's going to be the end of the tour. That is all of Fantasyland. It's a lot. There's a lot of Fantasyland. And hopefully you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching. Excellent to each other.